The Legend of Zelda has always been a story about waking up. A boy opens his eyes in a strange land, the world around him is both familiar and unreal. But what if these adventures aren't just tales of kingdoms and heroes? What if they're all dreams? Over and over, Zelda drops us into a world that collapses, resets or vanishes when we leave. From Koholint Island to the endless 3-day cycle of Termina, to Link rising from centuries of sleep, Zelda has always been a game that dreams of itself. If you enjoy this video, hit that subscribe button down below for even more Zelda content here on Trifroce Times. Stick around to the end of the video for an exclusive offer for channel members. Well, first of all, we have the obvious dream. So if we're going to talk about dreams in Zelda, we have to start with the most obvious one, and that of course is Link's Awakening. On the surface, it looks like a traditional Zelda adventure, exploring dungeons, collecting items and defeating bosses, but every detail just feels slightly off. The island of Koholint is filled with strange characters, and they just don't quite fit in. There's characters from Mario Brothers, enemies that never appear in any other Zelda games, even references that break the fourth wall. It's a world that feels stitched together like fragments from different memories, blending into one dream. And then comes the big reveal: none of it was real. When Link defeats the final nightmare, the Windfish awakens, and the island vanishes. Everyone Link met, every place he visited, it all dissolves into nothing. The entire quest was just a dream, destined to end the moment he opened his eyes. Unlike most Zelda games where the world is saved, here the act of winning means everything is erased. It's bittersweet and almost unsettling. But what is fascinating is that this isn't treated as a one-off twist. Link's Awakening almost feels like a blueprint for the series itself. Zelda always toyed with the tension between worlds that exist and worlds that only seem to exist. Link wakes up in a new land again and again, as if he's slipping into one dream after another. The series doesn't just tell us stories, it dreams them, knowing full well they're going to fade when the adventure ends. Well, next up we got the looping nightmare. So if Link's Awakening is Zelda's most obvious dream, then Majora's Mask is the series at its most haunting nightmare. From the very beginning, the game just feels wrong. You're trapped in a town that will be destroyed in 3 days' time, doomed by a moon that watches silently as it falls, but instead of saving the world once and for all, you're forced to relive those same 3 days over and over and over again, caught in a cycle that you can never fully escape. Every time the clock resets, Termina rewinds itself, characters forget what you've done for them, quests unravel, tragedies repeat. It's like the world is suffering from amnesia, unable to hold on to the good that you've accomplished. You might save someone's life in one cycle only to watch them die in the next. Link becomes the only one who remembers, cursed to live the nightmare, whilst everyone else is trapped inside it. The strangest part is how dreamlike this repetition feels. You learn the patterns, you anticipate the events, you know exactly where people will be at any given hour, yet no matter how much you plan, the ending is always the same. The moon falls and everything collapses. In a way, Majora's Mask captures the logic of a nightmare. It's the kind where you know what is coming, but you can't stop it from happening again. And just like in Link's Awakening, victory isn't a pure triumph. Ending the nightmare means breaking the cycle, but it doesn't erase the unease of what came before. Termina can be saved, but the memory of endless resets linger, like the echo of a bad dream that stays with you long after waking. Next up, we have familiar faces and shifting roles. One of the strangest and most dreamlike qualities of Zelda is how faces keep reappearing in different worlds. Characters don't just return across the games, they come back changed, wearing new identities, as if they've been recast in another dream. Take Marin from Link's Awakening, who looks and acts uncannily like Princess Zelda, yet lives on a distant island and dreams of flying away. Or Malon from Ocarina of Time, a farm girl who resembles Marin so closely she feels like a reflection. Across different games, these characters blur into one another. Not quite the same person, but not entirely different either. The same happens with countless others. The masked salesman in Majora's Mask appears out of nowhere with no explanation, as if he wandered in from another dream. Shopkeepers, carpenters, guards and the sages seem to re-emerge game after game, their personalities shifting but their faces staying familiar. It's as if Link is dreaming about people he's already met but can't remember them clearly, so they come back in altered forms. This dreamlike recycling creates a sense of deja vu. Each new Zelda game feels fresh, but is also haunted by the echoes of old. It's never a clean break, it's a retelling with familiar pieces shuffled around, characters resurfacing in strange disguises, as though the series is trying to remember the past but can only do so imperfectly. Next up, we've got memory and reincarnation. So Zelda doesn't just recycle faces, it recycles entire histories. At the heart of the series is the idea of reincarnation. Link, Zelda and Ganon returning again and again, trapped in an endless cycle of conflict. Each new game presents Link and a different Zelda, but the roles remain the same. It's as if the world can't stop dreaming these new archetypes. This cycle makes every game feel like a half-remembered version of another. Twilight Princess echoes Ocarina of Time with its temples and its landscape and even the music. Skyward Sword reimagines the birth of the Master Sword, but the story feels less like a beginning and more like a memory being told backwards. And in Breath of the Wild, the ruins scattered across Hyrule aren't just remnants of that world's history, they feel like echoes of our own past adventures, reminders of the games that we played before. Memory is woven directly into the stories themselves. Zelda often loses her memory, Link almost always begins with none, and worlds forget their past or remember it only in fragments, like the broken timeline that is divided into 3 conflicting realities after Ocarina of Time. These aren't just plot devices, they're reflections of how memory works in dreams. Fragmented, repetitive, shifting with each time it has been recalled. The result is a series that feels less like a linear story and more like a cycle of reincarnated memories. Each new Zelda game is both a continuation and a retelling, as though the series itself is caught in an act of remembering imperfectly across generations. Well, next up we got the world that remembers. So if earlier Zelda games feel like dreams and nightmares, then Breath of the Wild and Tears of the Kingdom feel like waking into that dream's aftermath. These aren't fresh worlds so much as landscapes scarred by memory. The ruins scattered across Hyrule whisper of stories we've already lived, fragments of adventures that ended long ago. The Temple of Time still stands broken and crumbling, a monument not only just to Hyrule's history, but to the player's own memory of exploring it in Ocarina of Time. Tears of the Kingdom takes this even further. The floating islands in the sky recall Skyward Sword, but they don't feel like a direct connection, more like a dream that half remembers a story told centuries ago. The Zonai ruins suggest civilizations that we never fully knew, just as dreams are filled with places we somehow recognise but cannot explain. The world doesn't just exist, it remembers, and in doing so it reminds us of the memories we carry as players. In these games, Zelda becomes a story that's aware of its own history. Every ruin is both a piece of Hyrule's past and a piece of Zelda's past, a collapsing archive of adventures retold. It's a world haunted not only by what happens in this fiction, but by what happened in our hands, our playthroughs, our memories, our own personal dreams of Hyrule. Zelda always promised us an adventure, but beneath the surface it has always been something stranger. Its worlds collapse when we leave them, its characters blur across timelines, its stories reset like reoccurring dreams. Each time we pick up the controller, Link awakens into another cycle, another memory, another dream, and when the game ends, the dream fades until we return again. And maybe that is why the Legend of Zelda series feels so timeless. It isn't just telling stories in a sequence, it's retelling the same story through different dreamscapes, reshaping familiar pieces in new ways. Just as dreams recycle fragments of our waking lives, Zelda recycles its own myths, places and faces, reimagining them again and again until they feel eternal. Well, The Legend of Zelda then becomes more than just a series of games. It becomes a dream of itself, one that we, as players, step into. We remember fragments, we recognise echoes, and we carry the memories forward, even as the worlds vanish behind us. And perhaps that is the true magic of The Legend of Zelda. Every time that we play, we're not just exploring Hyrule, we're entering a dream the series has been having for nearly 40 years. Well, let me know what you think in the comments, but that is it for this video today, looking at Zelda's biggest secret. Well, it was all a dream, and thank you so much for watching or for listening. Don't forget to hit that subscribe button down below for even more Zelda content here on Trifroce Times. Thanks again, and I will see you in the next video. Well, thank you so much for watching the video, but today I'd like to let you know about the Trifroce Times store. If you like Trifroce Times content and you want to get some merchandise, then browse the online store today. We've got t-shirts, hoodies, hats, and loads more in all shapes and sizes and colours. Also, if you didn't see something on the store that you want, then let me know in the comments. Comment on the video and let me know what you want to see in the merch store, and I will make it happen. So if you enjoy Trifroce Times and want to go above and beyond to support, then the store is a great place to do that. And also, you're going to get some high quality merchandise as well, so check out the Trifroce Times store today, with a selection of merch below each video, and you can also check out the store link in the description if you'd like to browse the whole store. But this video is brought to you by Trifroce Times Backstage. This is available through Patron or YouTube membership, and you're going to get exclusive benefits, plus you'll be able to go above and beyond to support Trifroce Times. Free content is core to Trifroce Times, and you can continue to enjoy these videos that you know and love. However, if you want to enjoy the benefits like early access, our community Discord, shoutouts in the credits of videos, content polls and exclusive videos, then select the tier that is right for you and join Trifroce Times Backstage today. So help me make Trifroce Times be even bigger and better, plus you're going to get some added benefits for a small fee every month. Well, thank you for listening, and now it's time to go back to the video.